Hi again, everybody, and welcome into CTN's Game of the Week. I'm Nick Wisniewski, joined by the mayor, Kevin Bryant. And if you look around, you can see we are in the Dome. We're at Huron High School for some women's hoops, where the River Rats are going to be taking on the visiting Skyline Eagles. Kevin, what are we looking for tonight?
Well, tonight, just talking with both coaches from the Skyline side, you're going to see a team that's really trying to get their first win against some players that they know. They're very familiar with the River Rats. They'll take pictures at the end of the game. It's more about getting over in their head that they can compete against this squad, this Huron team. Now for Huron, we've seen the Patels, we've seen the Smith sisters, who are all going to U of M Dearborn. Good for you, U of M Dearborn. But let's check out their defensive presence. Scott Hunter, their coach, he says there's some lapses in their defensive pressure. He wants a full four-quarter game tonight.
Lots to keep an eye on. Stick around. Tip off in just a minute. And as advertised, Kevin, here we are, moments away from tip-off here with the Rats and the Skyline Eagles. We can see their records so far this season. And just looking forward, like you said, giving some props to the seniors here tonight, going in January so far.
Well, I tell you what, Nick, I'm looking at the starting lineups, and you can see a little bit of contrast. You have a lot of seniors over on that Rat side, not too many for the Eagles.
See that tip won by the Rats. Early three-point attempt by one of the Smith sisters there, that's Sienna Smith. Rattles in and out. Long three-ball attempt by Skyline. That's Ava Perry, freshman Ava Perry.
Her first game, too.
Ava Perry's first game. Good for her. We are mid-January, Kevin, and of course you know that's cold and flu season. Strong cold and flu season in Michigan this year. And any coach you talk to in any sport, in any city, at any school is going to give you their dilemma about this person and this person are sick or have been sick and have missed time.
I mean, I tried to shake Johnny Horn's hand, and he said no, hand sanitizer, Kevin. They're actually missing Cammie Tirico because of a flu. They have another injured player. Actually, Coach Horn is dealing with a twisted ankle, so I'm surprised to see him standing up on the sidelines already.
Even the coach is on the IL. It's one of those. Nonetheless, we all muscle on, and here we've got Huron with a quick 4-0 lead. Long rebound there by Katie Baugh. Slick up and under there. Excellent play by Rhea Patel. She's got a lot of moves.
Well, she's fast. She can shoot the ball on the outside. And like we said in the open, she's going to be playing next year for U of M Dearborn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good squad they've got over at U of M Dearborn.
Well, they're taking 3/4 of the Huron to the Smith sisters as well as Patel.
Jaden Smith carries it through, tries to get to Katie Baugh. Just a little too high for her.
Yeah, it looks like she got caught in the air. And what's the cardinal rule, right? If you're going up in the air, you want to shoot the ball. You don't want to go up in the air to pass it.
Right. You're absolutely correct. Right you are. official timeout here.
Looks like Ava Perry maybe has some blood. Looked like she was trying to, looks like she might have got popped in the mouth there. You can see over on the Skyline bench there.
Perry of the shorter stature, which I can relate to. I mean, we're elbow height.
Well, I mean,
so we're catching them.
Man, Perry, she's had a tough one. You know, first she injures herself before the season begins, and now what? Less than 2 minutes in, she's off of the court already. Come on.
Clearly a fighter. I think that we won't see the last of her here this evening.
Oh, definitely. Because, you know, point guards are just like quarterbacks. They run the team.
That's right.
So she's been trying to get back out there. You can see they're trying to clear up some of that blood that spilled down there on the floor.
No, you're right. You don't see too many wimpy point guards. Point guards, for the most part, especially the smaller ones, they're the ones that really will surprise you more often than not. They're the ones going into the lane amongst all the trees.
Got a quick shot of Bob Wellman there, the AD for Skyline. Taking a nice seat on the bench there. Maybe he wants to get in for Coach Horn.
Maybe. Maybe he's waiting for a tag in just in case Coach Horn can't finish out, just like you mentioned. Here we got our first timeout of this game here. As you mentioned, got Coach Johnny Horn there for the Skyline Eagles, doing his best with, again, few people missing tonight, a few people missing throughout the course of the season. Things have been happening, but everybody has to do what they have to do.
You know, he gets really excited about coaching these girls. You look at the record and you think, what are you talking about? But it's refreshing for him to come out here and really coach players that aren't trying to get to the next level. They're running to play for the Eagles. These are the student athletes, and that's something special that we don't see too much nowadays. You see the kids playing travel and everything.
Right.
Love to see that.
Right, absolutely. I'm completely with you. The high school game is the most interesting to me, and it's still the most pure as far as that's concerned.
You'll remember this for years. You know, I can't remember the AAU teams you play on, right?
AAU doesn't give those letter jackets out, the little gold pins. Not the same.
And it's more of an individualized type of setting in the AAU. It's not this team bonding where you're seeing your teammate, not just on the bus, but maybe in first and second hour.
Yeah, that's a great point. Here we've got inbound for Skyline. Janae Faulkner, point guard, bringing her up again.
Maybe we should do some 2-on-2. Faulkner sisters against the Smith sisters?
I'd watch that. Maybe that'll be the halftime show. Nice up by Faulkner there. Good outlet pass by the Rats, pushing it up. Working really well in transition so far this game. 3 ball was off by Jaden Smith on that one.
It was a really good job of Sienna Smith pushing the ball right to the middle of the key before she passed that one.
There we saw Rhea Patel a moment ago pulling down that board, just like we talked about. Does a little bit of everything. No rush for the Skyline offense. They've got to be feeling pretty good with themselves. We're a few minutes in, and they're only down 4 points here.
Well, and you think about, you mentioned it several times, Nick, the Skyline Eagles are dealing with injuries as well as sick players. They have a very short bench, so they don't want to get in a track meet tonight running up and down the court with these Rats.
That's a really great point. And I have to wonder if you're Coach Hunter on the other side, if they are saying, let's get into a track meet with this and see if we can run them down. Because we do have great athletes, and we do have seniors that have experienced legs underneath of them, and we do have players on the bench. There you see Patel going up strong there.
And that was another freshman for the Eagles on the block there, Julian Boyton. 5'10". Again,
5'10", yeah.
the better days for these Eagles. I'm not writing off this season, Nick, but I'm just saying long term, they got a lot of youth.
Well, we were just talking about Johnny Horn for a little bit. He's been here for a few years. He wants to really create a program. He wants this thing to extend. And when you look at the best teams in this league, that's what you got. They've got programs. They've got coaches that have been there for a while and have expectations from freshman year on.
Well, and it's difficult for Coach Horn to, go out and recruit the players that are walking in the hallways of Skyline when your team isn't winning. If I'm a 15, 16-year-old, do I want to be a part of a squad that's losing? Maybe not. But that's who he's searching for. He's searching for those leaders that want to be a part of this challenge, because we've seen Huron go from maybe 4 different coaches in the span of 5 years, and they continually put up dubs.
Nice outlet pass once again by Huron. That one gets over to Katie Ba, and she drops that one in. Number 21, Katie Ba. Really a not out of nowhere type player, but somebody who this is one of her first major years on varsity, and she's really, really contributed to the Rats.
Well, for the longest, Huron, they've had big players in the middle. Ba's been learning from them, and you can see how she feeds off of the Smith sisters as well as Patel. She's open there. She leads the team in rebounding, and she knows her game. She's not trying to extend it too far away from the bucket.
Well, and in transition, everybody's got their position. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do, whether it's getting the rebound, whether it's the outlet, or whether it's just streaking Hail Mary down the court. And if you know what's expected of you, and you are going where you're supposed to be going, then everybody else on the court knows where to go next.
Makes it a good cohesive, and the movement. I love the movement when you know where your other teammate is going to be.
And then we can see some defensive movement by the River Rats there.
It looked like Patel got a little bit of the arm on that one.
Got a little excited.
Subbing in for the Eagles, number 5, Akers.
Maya Woolley at the line. Missed that first one, but second opportunity on the way.
It's good patience there.
Also see Mackenzie Massachuski there for the first time this evening.
When you have more players, it really helps too, because in practice you can actually run a scrimmage. Everything's difficult when you don't have the numbers.
Yeah, that's a great point too. We come here for the games. We're seeing this. We're seeing what's on screen week by week. But you're right. These kids have got to live it day by day. These coaches have got to deal with that day by day, and it's about getting to these game days. Another really nice point on the block for the River Rats, and they've been dominating in the paint so far.
Well, they're taking easy shots. They're getting to the basket, and that's what the Eagles have to do. And maybe Horn will come out and maybe employ a zone, maybe protect the rack a little bit better, and you might give up some long rebounds, but you won't have too much of this. People making points in the paint.
Great fake by Ba on that one, though.
Didn't travel either. That was nice.
Yes,
Kept her
like
feet.
that.
You see Coach Hunter right there. Again, his style is similar to what the boys' style here at the Greenhouse. I was going to call it the River Dome, just because I grew up with the River Dome. I heard you say dome, and it got stuck in my head. Whoops. The Greenhouse, because the boys' team, Coach Samaha, he likes defense, and that's what Coach Hunter is about as well too. And for many, many years, we've seen from when they've had other coaches for the girls' team, they employ that trapping style defense. Might not need it tonight, but that's definitely what he's gearing his squad up for the remaining SEC Red games.
Yeah, I think the man-to-man defense should be more than enough for his girls to handle here this evening. Although that said, here we have a little bit of a half-court pressure. Maybe looking for a really high trap.
Well, you did mention, Nick, maybe Coach Hunter wants to, speed that tempo up, get more easy buckets.
That one rims out for the Eagles. They're still looking for their first points here this first quarter with 2:06 left to go.
Another senior, Brooklyn Cooper, for the Rats there, trying to save the ball and unable to.
A lot of contributors for the River Rats.
Yeah, they got a deep bench.
Well, it's one thing to have people on that bench. It's another thing to get them into the game and contribute.
And they come in, and they're not just standing around.
So, surely not. Sienna Smith there with a high-key jumper. 10-0 so far for the River Rats. There's that high pressure once again by Massachuski. Yeah,
Right.
great pressure by the River Rats so far defensively. Just out on their player. Not much space between them and the other person's body. Great job so far. Excellent work shuffling those feet, too.
Yeah, and that's almost a double dribble there. Looks like she caught it and dribbled again. It's good movement, too, by the Eagles. They're not standing pat. That's good. You have to do these small things before you can get to the big things and win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You stay with your player, you keep your head up, look for those screens like we just saw, and then you've got to talk, you've got to switch. And then hopefully you stay in those lanes, and this is what you get. Is another fast break opportunity by the River Rats. And that one is dropped in by Brooklyn Cooper. Yeah, everybody works hard, everybody does the right thing on defense, then you get easy buckets on offense.
And that's what Coach Hunter wants. He wants that, and maybe that's why you're seeing that little three-quarter soft token pressure there, just to get these easy buckets. And there you go again, another quick turnover.
Alexa Lyon now coming in, draws some body. Offensive, though.
I think my referee Chad there was going to go with a blocking call, and it kind of looked like AJ, the other ref, was on the other side, was about to call it. But he does reward the defense of standing in there and taking the charge. Good job by Faulkner.
Yep, definitely so. That was definitely a bit of a shocker there for all the players in white.
But I think she didn't sell it. She didn't go down to the ground, so it was kind of like, man, do I really want to call this? Good call.
Great swipe by Massachusetts there, and once again, another easy lay-in for Huron. And now 9 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Huron's increased their lead 14-0. Only a couple of seconds ticking down for Skyline to try to get one in. And that'll do it for the first quarter of action. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back, and we'll have the rest of this CTN Ann Arbor Game of the Week.
Catch up on FYI and other CTN programs at a2gov.org/watchctn.
And welcome back, everybody. Here we're about to start the second quarter of action here for the Huron River Rats and the Skyline Eagles. As you can see, 14-0 right now, Rats. Kevin, what was going on in that first quarter?
A little bit too many turnovers for the Eagles there. They got off to an okay start, really playing good defense, and then trouble struck, I think, when they lost their point guard. And then Coach Horn had to go to the bench a little bit too soon than he anticipated.
And there we got the first bucket now for the Eagles. That's Maya Woolley. More paint points all around. Long shot there for the Rats. Sienna Smith with her second or third attempt from three-point land.
Boyden right there gave up her dribble. No one came to her defense, really, because she's a forward. She's not trying to handle the ball. That's where a guard has to come out there and help her out.
Go towards it, and it's got to be about communication as well. In the high school game, communication is so key let people know that you're open, let people know you're available, let people know you're in trouble.
Well, and this is one of those sports that communication, it isn't hindered by the apparatuses that you're wearing or playing with. You know, like hockey, football, you know, even in some of the volleyball matches, it's loud. But in these basketball games, you're relatively close to your players. You can be hey, screaming, and they should be hearing and knowing your voice.
Yeah, you're completely correct about that. Another long 3-ball attempt by the Rats. Good offensive rebound, though. And the Rats get back in their offensive set. Take 2 for number 2, but that's 3. Brooklyn Cooper with another 3-pointer. And then you see the Rats settle right back into that pressure defense, full court pressure defense.
That wasn't a bad shot, just a little bit long.
Right.
You know, she was open.
More excellent transition offense there by the Rats. Looking for Cooper under the hoop instead of camped out in 3-point land.
I really like the outlet pass there. Found Cooper streaking. And look at where it found her. Right in a position to go up with the bucket and go for the shot. Lovely pass.
And it looks like her ankles got caught up on that Skyline defender. Cooper misses the first. Opportunity number 2 coming up in a moment. Renee Faulkner into the game for the Eagles.
And again, we still have not seen Ava Perry come back in after that early injury she took.
No, they're still working on her over there by the Gatorade jug. It's I don't know if the bleeding won't stop or if they might have some ice on her over there.
You know, I don't see a lot of mouth guards out there. And,
No.
and that's definitely one of the things that I never balled without having. Because you can catch an elbow or anything,
Sure.
man. So hopefully she's not injured where they need stitches or something like that.
Yeah, it might just be a case of a bleeder, you know, something that just won't stop. Faulkner cuts in, moves into the lane, draws the foul. Maybe that'll be the next major idea here for the Eagles, is try to drive in and try to draw some fouls here. Maybe get some of those Huron players in foul trouble and really attack that basket time after time.
I like that strategy for several reasons. One, you can get buckets maybe by going to the foul line, slowing the game down. But also, too, like you said, maybe put some of the Rats in foul trouble.
We've got a jump ball here. It'll stay down on this end for the Eagles.
That's a favorite named person on the roster we looked at who just tied that one up.
Who was that? Was that Onyx Acosta?
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Just flows off the tongue. It's wonderful. Nice up and under there by Janae Faulkner. She's doing her part at least. She's getting in there. She's trying to go to the rack.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that basket. Somebody's got to get up there because there's something covering that
There
rim.
might be something on there, yeah.
There's some plastic up there. The students were off this week for finals.
Well, you know, when I was talking to Coach Hunter earlier in the week, something he mentioned that I'd never really thought about, and maybe you'd not thought about at being an alum here. It's one thing for the Rats to be used to what this dome is like and how it looks when you're shooting and playing. But when you don't play in this gym every single day, it's got to be a little weird to shoot. It's very different. Like I love doing games here because this dome is such a unique situation. But for an opposing player, it's kind of got to be mayhem at
It's
first.
imposing.
Yeah.
Well, because even the dribbling of the ball sounds different in here than it does in regular gyms.
That's a great point.
I mean, it echoes different. So all of your senses are just a little bit on edge here when you're playing, and that's to the advantage of the occupants of the greenhouse, the River Rats.
Yeah.
This is a basketball school, and it has been for the past 10 years, really, and in part from what both women's and men's teams have done on this floor.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right on every single point there. Yeah, and even you're right. Even the echoes of the ball, it's something very different. And if that's not what you're used to hearing, it's not right. I mean, most high school athletes are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And they've been doing things a certain way for years, if not their entire life. So when something is a little off, then you got that little bug of confusion in the back of your brain.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, too, especially on the shots. Because, again, maybe you've heard this when football players are playing inside a dome and it looks different for them. Basketball players the same way. When you're shooting the ball, it just looks different.
Yeah. Back to action there. Massachusetts going for the ball. I really like the way that these refs so far are letting these girls play.
Yeah.
A little bit of contact is just fine as long as nobody's hurt. Nobody's getting knocked to the ground.
Do you think
Plays moving along nicely.
does the records have anything to do with that?
I don't think so. I think officials, they come into the game with the mindset of what they're supposed to do. Massachusetts for 3 on that one. That one rattles in and out. I think that they come in and they say, as long as it's nothing major, we want to see an up-tempo game. Everybody wants to see an up-tempo game. The fans want to see an up-tempo game. We want to see an up-tempo game. The girls want to play an up-tempo game. Nobody likes that stop and start.
Like that
yeah.
too. Basketball's a movement sport. It's not something that should be slowed down.
There's a bucket by Onyx Acosta.
She has
and now we see it.
Big cheering section back behind us.
Another 3 attempt by the Eagles comes down for Melissa Curtis.
Some of those shots for the Eagles might be fatigue shots. You've seen a couple of them go over the rim, and they're quick shots. It's like, okay, I'm open now, I'm going to shoot it. You know, the patience needs to set in.
And you know, the fatigue aspect of it, you're probably right. Here we'll see Acosta with that shot. High arcing shot, but rattles in. Good for her. Getting back to the Eagles, though, you might be right on about that. Even their legs look a little bit tired. Not getting a lot of jump to those 3-pointers. You know, on the other side of things, we just saw Brooklyn Cooper, strong lower legs, full body shot, versus what we've seen from the Eagles tend to be a little bit more of the old, I don't know, Bill Cartwright 3-pointer.
Yeah, the set shot.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does. And this is one of those games where Coach Horn, he's going to use all the timeouts. Mm-hmm. There's nothing to save them for. It's part of his rotation, actually, to look up, okay, we're about at, look at the 4-minute mark, let's call a timeout. I guarantee you before the end of the half, got to get another timeout in there. And these little breaks, he's probably noticing that on the offensive end to call them to calm his team down.
Now with these timeouts, will there be substitutions as well, or is it just kind of like a let's take back and reset?
Yeah, that bench isn't getting any longer.
No, that's fair. Get some good nice switching defense by the Rats here. There you see Cooper getting nice and low, great position.
Yeah, those are good quality shots. That's a good look there by the Eagles.
Yeah, they're working the ball around nicely, and they're doing their best to tucker out this River Rat defense. But they've got good legs under them for sure. Cooper, nice play into the lane and in.
Euro action. A lot of skill with that shot. I mean, running towards the rim. She was kind of drifting to the right as well to put that in with that type of touch. That was great.
Yeah, you love a player that can slash in and do something like that. Nice up and under. Gets her own rebound. Massachusetts fighting for it. And Melissa Curtis, just a 100% effort play there by Curtis from top to bottom. But here you can see Cooper one more time, splits the defense, slashes in, and just a really nice touch to get that one in. She knows
we counted that one.
And here we see Curtis one more time at the line. Been rewarded with all that effort.
Gotta love a player that has an engine that just won't stop.
Mm-hmm. Huron looks like they've got a lot of them.
Well, this is the second year for Coach Hunter. Last year was kind of new, you know, getting to know some of the players. Now he has a good feel for when to change, substitute, when to put maybe even Patel, who's not even out there, one of your best players, feel comfortable playing some of the other players.
For sure. And, you know, when you are trying to build that program, that's exactly the mindset. You want to give some of your deeper bench players those varsity minutes.
And reward all that hard work and practice and not.
Exactly. Skyline back into their half-court offense, but great hands there once again by the River Rat defense. Massachusetts one more time gets her hands on that ball, knocks it away to Cooper.
Cooper a little too
Long
unselfish
three by
there.
Lyon.
She should have shot that one.
Massachusetts once again, really nice steal with their head up, always knowing where the ball is and just getting through. Never see Cooper, getting back on defense, then shooting right back up the court into the paint.
Cooper's in attack mode tonight. She is definitely, every time she gets the pill, looking to score.
And you love that from a player, any player.
Especially a senior, you know, And you can take a look here. Look at her. Down, and she gets to her strong side hand.
Yeah.
Second time we've seen that.
Yeah, right in the middle of two Eagle players. Very nice. Cooper's second opportunity from the charity stripe goes in. That increases the River Rat lead 23 to 2. A little bit of a different look press by the River Rats. They're going to try something else out.
Yeah,
Looks like more of a
that's full court.
zone
Yeah.
versus that full court man.
Yeah, at first it looks like it was a soft three-quarters. That time they didn't even guard the inbound player. They were really trying to set up a trap.
Yep. That shot
Good hustle.
out. 3 Eagle players there in the paint ready to grab that one. And another slick outlet pass to Massachusetts. Stop and pop. And three-pointer.
That's deep.
Mackenzie Massachusetts. Nice play from top to bottom there.
Double
And then
limit.
she's right back in
Mackenzie.
defensive
Wow.
mode.
I mean, she shot that one smooth. Right in rhythm. There's a lid on that basket.
It sure feels like it. Maybe they'll go and inspect that one at halftime. Another outside shot by the Rats. Melissa Curtis just off on that one. You see Coach Horn saying, let's slow it up here. Let's slow it up here. 1:22 left to go here in this first half. No rush. That pass just a little bit away from Claire Salado. Just a little too low, a little away. Here we
Take a
go
look
back
at
to
that
another
three.
beautiful outlet pass right to Massachusetts there. Takes her time,
See her
sets.
walk into that, Nick, and she kind of rolled into it. Love the follow through. That's a perfect shot.
Composed, and then she gets right into her press positioning.
This is the zone defense now. This is something that, you know, maybe because it's always been transition, it's been difficult for the Eagles to set up in this zone. But it's the first time we've really seen this 2-3.
No, yeah, you're totally right about that. And yeah, there'll be a little bit of adjustment period here for the River Rats if this is how it continues to go for them.
Yeah, they're really trying to set up a trap, you see, and that's smart. Keep the ball in the center of the court. It's difficult to trap in the center of the court because you're away from the baselines and the side outs.
Little lapse in focus there for a second by Janae Faulkner. She was looking away, and of course in that one moment when you're looking away, that's when the ball's coming your way.
She's probably trying to take a breather.
Yeah.
Oh, that's close to over and back.
And the Eagles looking for that cutter into the middle.
It's a good flash
nice
there.
Turnaround there by Claire Salata, yeah. She just hasn't been rewarded close to the basket yet.
Let's see where the Rats take one shot. No, they're going for it. Wow.
Massachusetts, nice job knowing where her man in front of her is, popped back, and once again, great composure on her shot. And with 4 seconds left to go here in this half, not a ton of speed on the Eagles' play.
Didn't know the clock.
I think you're right. And that'll do it for the first half of action here for CTN's Game of the Week. 28-2 thus far for the Rats, but stick around. You never know what the second half could bring.
We want everyone in Ann Arbor to be safe. Which is why Ann Arbor has a law requiring drivers to be 5 feet while passing bicyclists, pedestrians, or wheelchairs traveling on the road. Most traffic lanes within the city are at least 10 feet wide, so give half a lane width of space for safety's sake. This is a good way to measure how much space is required. And if it isn't safe to pass, don't. Be cautious, be patient, and most of all, be safe.
I just wish there was some place I could watch my favorite local TV shows.
Wow! Cool, where am I?
You are in a computer terminal.
Who said that?
I am the god of computers. I heard your wish and granted you access to my terminal.
Really? I've always wanted to be inside one of these things. So what's next?
Visit CTN's and the City of Ann Arbor's streaming and video on demand 82gov.org/watchctn.
What do I do there?
Here you can watch city meetings, community-produced programs, school board and education programming, and a whole lot more.
Yes! This is great!
The live streams include CTN's 4 channels: government, public, educational, and community. Just click the sidebar for the channel you prefer and click play.
I can watch 4 channels. Cool.
For video on demand, go to youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to find your favorite show. Scroll through the mini playlists or simply use the search bar to type in the name of the program.
I wish I knew about this earlier.
Visit 82gov.org/watchctn for CTN live streams and video on demand.
That's great. Now I can go tell my friends. Once I leave.
Goodbye.
Hello?
And here we go, folks. Second half action for CTN's Game of the Week. As you can see, we've got the Huron River Rats taking on the visiting Skyline Eagles. Kevin, everybody at home and on the internet can see 28-2, but there's a lot that went into that score. What did we see that first half?
You know, from both sides. Let's start off with the Rats because, of course, they're up. A lot of good playing by a lot of players. You know, Coach Hunter went to the bench very liberally, very liberal. He went deep into the bench. Let's get it right. I'm getting excited here because I'm looking at the score. Rats are up now 30-2. They came out and played their style that they want to play. Yeah, maybe the competition isn't out here. You couldn't tell because of the Rats are doing just like this. They get the ball and they were getting it up court, taking advantage of the Skyline turnovers. For the Eagles, they have to get healthy. You take a quick look over at the bench and you see that their freshman guard, Ava Perry, she's blocked right now from our vision by Coach Horn, but she has a plastic thing on her nose, and they're hoping that she didn't break her nose. So, I mean, she's dealing with injuries, and that's been the story of the Skyline for the entire year. Even the coach is dealing with a twisted ankle. So, just to really quickly recap, if I can do that after talking for 2 minutes, it's been the score is showing you what it should be.
And here we see more opportunities there. That one by Katie Ba. Quick recap back to the Perry question. You said she has a plastic thing on her nose. Is that the medical term? Is that the correct term there?
It's the Wikipedia term, the plastic thingamabob.
If I could add one thing, just an outstanding pass there into the lane for Katie Ba. Man, she has been the beneficiary of some easy buckets. But don't take anything away from her because she is in the correct spot and she's putting these things down.
Well, she probably learned from Shamim Wambert. We were talking in the break about what's missing from this Huron team. And Shamim, she was that player that we saw for 4 years playing out here. And Ba is doing the exact same thing, learning and learned from her. But she is actually out there executing just like Shamim.
And you can see her working really hard. You can see her right now checking both ways on defense, keeping a hand on her player, feet constantly moving, not dragging in any way. And there's that nice outlet pass, just ready for that from Patel, and sends it in. Great play. Getting back to that first half recap, though, if I could say one more thing about the Eagles, when they are getting opportunities, I mean, they've had plenty of shots.
The shots just aren't falling.
Not going down, that's right.
Yeah, and maybe the second half they can use the other basket a little bit more, some better results than they had in the first half because it worked out well for the Rats.
Skyline. Out of bounds, Huron ball. Traveling called, Skyline ball out of bounds. Basket is good by Katie Ball. Good by number 12, Janae Faulkner. Three-pointer is good by Jaden Smith. Full timeout called by Skyline. Two-pointer by Majeski. Good by Alexa Lyon.
The symptoms are fever, cough.
Following 21, Bob of Huron. That's her first personal. At the line, shooting 2 is Janae Faulkner. Subbing in for Huron, number 1, Mylisa Curtis. That's a good by Bob. Number 1, Curtis of Huron. That's her second personal. At the line, shooting 2 is Janae Faulkner. Subbing in for Huron, number 2, Cooper. Subbing in. Brings us to the end of the third quarter. Subbing in for Huron, number 24, Acosta, and for Skyline, number 10, Victory. Out of bounds, Huron ball. Stepping in for Huron, number 5, Kangara.
We're going to teach you how to do the free throw stuff.
That is ruled a jump ball, so it will be Huron ball out of bounds on the possession here. Basket to go by Curtis.
Very cool.
Out of bounds, Huron ball. Out of bounds, Huron ball. Back in for the Eagles, number 12, Janae Faulkner, number 13, Renee Faulkner. Ball is good by Janae Faulkner. Full timeout called by Skyline.
We're gonna play basketball too.
Out of bounds, Skyline ball.
Oh, I got it. That's it.
is Acosta. Basket is good by Heat Dirks. Out of bounds, Skyline ball. The winning 50-50 raffle number is 939371. 939371. If you have the matching ticket, take it over to the ticket table. One minute remaining in the fourth quarter. Out of bounds, Skyline ball. Once again, that winning 50-50 raffle ticket number, 939371. 939371. Skyline ball out of bounds. Skyline ball out of bounds.